welcome back to the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference. Trevor Hall here with the Yukon Mining Alliance on day 2. Yesterday we focused a lot on precious metals and equities and projects Yukon based on that side of the spectrum. Today we're going to talk a lot about the base metal complex, and that also includes the new energy and battery metals that have been taking the waves, taking waves here in the metals sector. Happy to welcome in Nickel Creek Platinum and CEO Stuart Harshaw. Nickel Creek Platinum does trade on the TSX with the symbol NCP. Stuart, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Trevor.
Yeah, give us a little quick rundown. We're finally back here. We had our first full day in-person conference. How was day 1 for you?
Oh, it was excellent. There's a lot of foot traffic, a lot of interest from the investors that are here today, and also just a chance to touch base with others in the industry, right? I mean, it's been a while since you can just have a coffee and talk about things where a lot of information shared. So it was a really good day.
Yeah, it's nice to be back. You know, deals are being made, whether it be at the coffee stand or at the bar down the street.
Exactly,
so.
Exactly.
Stuart, let's talk about the project here. But before we kind of get into what you're doing, let's get a sense of the fundamentals behind this new, it's not necessarily a trend, but this push towards the electrification and really this new energy metals that we're going to be needing. It sets you up nicely.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I've been in the nickel industry for 30 years and can talk at length about the nickel. And really, when you look at nickel, it's always been dominated by stainless steel, tied a lot to capital expansions, so tied to the general economy, but growing at a 2 to 3% rate annually, consistently. The new change that has occurred has really been people looking at ways to get out of fossil fuels, to try to reduce our carbon footprint as a global global community, and really to do that, one of the ways is electrification of our vehicles, right? So that means batteries, that means a different drivetrains, etc., and it means a lot more nickel, a lot more cobalt, a lot more copper, and then you throw in all the infrastructure required around it in order to go. It means a big boom time within the nickel space, within the copper space, and within obviously the cobalt and lithium, which has been really high on a lot of people's lists. I would actually just also throw in that the predictions are we need to double the amount of nickel in the next decade. And that's a significant challenge for any commodity to do, and really that's what we're facing right now, and that's why you've seen a steady increase in the price of nickel.
What about conversations that you've had, maybe not just yesterday at day 1 here at VRIC, but maybe in general in the previous months? Talk about what is the investment demand here for nickel and battery metal exploration that you're seeing, and how does that kind of expand into Yukon?
Yeah, well, so, I mean, the investor side into the nickel space has actually been slow, right, compared to other commodities like copper. So if you actually look at the equity, the nickel equity space, I would say there's been little change over a 6-month period where the nickel price has gone up by 40%. And so you're actually seeing, I think, a hesitancy from the investors to actually understand what's it mean for nickel and how is nickel going to be placed in it. And you're only now getting the sense with the nickel price above $12 a pound, slightly below today. What you're actually getting is a sense that the investors are starting to wake up to this newfound opportunity to invest in, and now they're asking, who can I invest in? What's it mean? And so I'm actually getting those questions now, where 6 months ago I wasn't.
Yeah. Well, and it's not just investors, it's also manufacturers, those OEMs that are increasingly looking to source their materials because they understand that, listen, the world is changing very quickly and they need to make sure that they can lock in their source of material to continue production.
Absolutely. Elon Musk is definitely one of the spokespeople for the nickel industry of late, given his comments about the world needs more nickel. He's now announcing that they would consider investing in buying a mine. For instance, just the other day he said that. So yes, the OEMs, the battery manufacturers, are all in it in terms of coming downstream, and securing the source is actually their most important piece, right? And I would say at this stage they've been looking, existing production but they're now starting to focus to future production. And that's the trend that always happens. You look at the current producers, then you start looking at who's going to be next in line, and that's really where the focus starts to come.
Well, let's focus more on Nickel Creek here. Stuart, give us kind of the 30,000-foot view of the asset portfolio within the company.
Oh, absolutely. So 30,000 foot, we've got a property called Nickel Show in the Yukon. It's in the southwest, right by the Kluane First Nations, who is our partner in this. And it is actually a well-defined, we've got from an M&I point of view, 323 million tons already defined. We've done our metallurgical de-risking on our project, producing saleable concentrates, both nickel and copper. And really, I would say that we've been in a position where we've been waiting for the nickel market to move. And so, of late, it has been moving, which has been exciting. And we just did a raise in order to do the work for the PFS on site this summer. And that is taken some, obviously, infill drilling to move some inferred over, but also to look at some of the geotech and hydro work that we need to do in order to have all the information we need to produce a PFS, which we would be looking to put out next year. And so what that really means is we're now moving along the development curve. So I would say we were kind of in that kind of holding pattern, and now we're back to moving pretty aggressively in the development curve.
Give me some historical context regarding the resource. What kind of work's been done, and recently in the last couple of years, and where is there blue sky potential somewhere for expansion?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a property that was mined back in '72 by Hud Bay. So there was an adit put into, and that was going after the high-grade massive sulfide that was at the center of our deposit. So really, this is not a project it's been a well-known project for a while. And really, the drilling that has been done, which was a substantial amount of drilling in the last 5 years, is to take it to a PFS level and to actually de-risk it on a metallurgical point. So it's really taking all of your composite sample across the entire deposit and getting it ran for metallurgy recoveries and for the ability to produce a saleable concentrate, which is critical to our process. So that was really the work that we did on the deposit. In the meantime, we actually looked across our entire property from with geophysics using time domain electromagnetics, and we found a whole bunch of conductors that were very promising. And last summer we drilled out on one in our arch area, and in that arch area we had 9 holes driven, and we hit 2 to 4% massive and semi-massive nickel sulfide. Really near surface. So the idea here is, can we get what people call a starter pit? Can we put a resource that we can bring early into a project with higher grades in order to really improve the economics of the overall project? And that's really what the focus has been. And we had tremendous hits last year, and really we'll be following up this year in order to get our head around an inferred type resource in that area.
Okay, so more drilling this summer as
Absolutely.
You continue to work on that preliminary feasibility study as well.
Yep.
So obviously it's going to be a very busy season for you because it's all hands on deck here.
Absolutely, yeah. We're looking at 4 months, and where we are in the mountains there, right by the Kluane Range there, where by the park, we actually have a limited drilling season. I would say is sort of June to October, and we can have conversations if it's an early winter or late spring, that type of thing, of our timing, and so that really we're going to be utilizing all of our time this year for this program.
Stuart, thank you so much for not only your insights on the nickel and battery metal space, but also the look into the project. It's going to be a very exciting summer. We'll be looking back, and maybe you and I can touch base on the podcast later this fall and see how all the work went.
That's fantastic. I look forward to it.
All right, that's Stuart Harshaw, President and CEO of Nickel Creek Platinum, again trading on the TSX with the symbol NCP.